Hello everyone and welcome back to City Skylines, the 1 hour a day build in the city of Lifström with me, your host, Clicker, and Insane Mayor, Zerberus. Yesterday we had some water issues, I think that's the best way to put it. I tried to lower I lowered the sea level to alleviate some flooding issues, and for some mysterious reason the sea level went up massively and caused we basically had the entire half the city flooded, and people were starting to move out. Things were starting to go very, very wrong. I managed to get that sorted. I think I managed to get that sorted. I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna find out soon. I mean, I remember this all used to be water, so yeah, we may have some terraforming to do to like restore the map to the way it was supposed to look. But yeah, we're not a major issue. We've got our river back. We have our beach back, our main beach, and everything else we'll just get to as we actually need to. We put in 2 more cargo hubs just for visual, although this one will actually be used here, probably sooner rather than later. But yeah, right now I think the first thing I'm going to do is just let it run and see what exactly happens. Because when we left it yesterday, we had some major traffic issues, we had some other things, and yeah, we'll just see what happens when I push the button. So, with no further ado, I'll crack open a beer, and let's get to it. Cheers! So, now we let this run, and find out that the city's probably basically in hell. No, I'm kidding. This shouldn't be that bad. Still not sure if we're going to do anything with this connection. It might make sense. We'll see. But right now, exactly, first thing we want to check is traffic. Yeah, 73%. Putting in this commercial area may have not been such a great idea after all. It's really causing us a bit of a headache right now. Doesn't seem to be too bad, but definitely getting gummy in spots. We may just upgrade this later to this eventually to a different road. My neck. This roundabout is what we were looking at last. Specifically this section, and this is causing a problem. What's the routing on this? Specifically here. Now, almost none of them want to get out and go, well, quite a few of them actually want to get out and go further, but a lot of them also just want to get out here. Mostly the private traffic coming from here wants to go down here to the commercial area, while the industrial traffic actually wants to cycle back out here. And so as a result, they're getting in each other's way. And I think I have a solution. What was that? What just rebuilt itself? Because I'm fairly certain that was a plop, and I didn't have anything selected. Very interesting. Okay, so let's get back to this. My idea that I'm having right now is to actually take this industry traffic and have that connect up to this. But that kind of really sucks for... Can I make a flying line out of here somewhere? What we need is a line that's going to take the traffic coming from here, specifically from up here, and bypass that to down here. May seem slightly insane, but it might work. Because there is a node, I think here, yeah. That's basically what would have to happen. It would have to go underground by there. And we can anarchy that in. Yeah, that's just going to have to stay exactly that way. There's no way we're going to be able to do much more about that. But what we can do without anarchy that's really tight. But considering they're all going that way, that actually should work. We'll make that 2 lanes coming out here. That very last chunk. No, not that chunk. That one. And that should take, at least theoretically, take all of this traffic from here and route it through here. Which should, at least theoretically, completely ungum this intersection. Just by allowing them to just shoot straight through underneath without having to get on the highway first and causing all this crossing. Why are they now all deciding that that's not the way they want to go? They're still going that way. Why? You know what? We'll set an unlimited speed limit on this. No, not parking restrictions. Speed limit. Unlimited for that entire section. And that should give them an incentive to use that instead. At least one per... getting to be more and more. That's good. Every car that comes off here... now we're getting somewhere. Because those are all cars that are not going to wind up in here. But still wind up funneling out here. That means we may get a traffic jam underground in here. That's entirely possible. And I think that's what's happening now, because now they're just not getting out at all anymore. Maybe. That's the primary issue now, is that it's just way too much traffic. So what we need to do, we actually need to turn at least this first section, well, there is only this section, into a 2-lane. Just so that they can both have their own lane to get on. And we're actually going to because all of them want to go this way anyway, that shouldn't be much of an issue. Yeah, but now they're gumming up back in here, so it's not really improving anything. You know what? We're going to change this completely. Going to leave it the way it was. This part, anyway. We're also going to leave that. No, we're actually going to delete that completely because we're going down even further. And we'll just send them straight in there. We're going to have to do some land lowering back in there to restore water flow. And that, I think, has its own water source back in there, so that should be fine. But this needs to fill up from the ocean. Yeah, this definitely has its own water source back in here. So this is a non-issue. In fact, you know what? We'll delete that and create a bridge. Oh, anarchy was the problem. That's why it didn't do one in the first place. Okay. Now that looks much more reasonable, and now water can flow back through there again. And our problem should be solved. That this doesn't wind up drying up. Now that that works. And they're using that. Excellent. That's totally not the way that needs to turn. I have no idea why the game decided that was a good idea. There, nice smooth curve. That's the way that needs to look. Now maybe we can get some of that running. Pull this out a little further, just to make sure the commercial buildings can really get the traffic from both sides. And now once again we have a mass influx over here. That's probably all the people trying to get back. Oh god. And now this is just gumming up like crazy. Okay. So we need to flare this up to 4 lanes first off. Why can I not upgrade to that? Oh, because it's already 4 lanes. Okay, that's actually a legitimately good reason. Oh, and it's already managed as well. But there's only 2 nodes. And that may be what's causing the problem. Then having to switch over too far. And then just not being able to figure it out, as well as the fact that we've got off-going mixing with incoming again. The classic mistake. Well, not mistake, but problem. You have to have incoming and off-going somewhere. Question is just how to do it right. And a lot of this is also traffic that's coming from the other side trying to get in here. That's why this is actually still relatively quiet, but this is a complete little slice of hell. Because of course they're all trying to switch lanes in here. They actually have 2 nodes to switch lanes, so theoretically they can easily get over far enough. But I think it's just the pure amount, and the fact that those nodes are so close together is what's causing the problem. This one can actually be moved a little bit further forward, though. Maybe that'll help. Probably not much, though. Did I just completely change the way that road looks? So this is the next solution to manage. We need the 3 coming in. There's no way to go with less than that. Oh, seems to be clearing up a little bit. In fact, wait a sec. Do we even have the advanced AI for Traffic Manager on? I think I still have that off now that I think about it. Yeah, totally. That in and of itself can at least theoretically solve the problem. And not just that problem, but all sorts of other problems. Because just look at how this is already starting to move again. Dynamic lane selection is actually pretty nice. And I just totally forgot that we never actually activated that. Which in a way is good, because that means that the traffic we actually basically would have, well, not without mods, but without the advanced AI, but that also means that that can theoretically do quite a bit to improve it. But of course we have to wait for it to sort itself. So, what are our demands right now? We have residential, we have industrial. Industry, well, we've got oil going on over here. What's the story on pollution? Can we hook that back up now? Yes, we can. Did we actually have... Oh, seriously? It was here and then that jumped all the way up there? That's a bit surprising. I didn't expect that to be quite that effective. Just one of those. Okay. So, and now what we also want, even though that's going to cause more traffic coming up, well, maybe it's not. No, we're just going to run with, for the time being, with just a highway on and a highway off ramp for this. And just hook those straight up to the roundabout. There's no real reason to do any huge amount of tinkering with this, at least right now. Now we can actually let that run. No, we can't let it... Well, we can let it run, but we need to turn it on first. And they're probably going to want water. Always with the water. And yeah, they're going to want their own little fire department and police as well. And we'll even add in another one of these just to make sure. And where are my offices? There, some offices. We don't necessarily want to create traffic back in here if we don't have to. So now this is also running. So theoretically, our oil industry, and they're immediately making use of it, can now use this to export oil. We have 3 cargo hubs running in relative close proximity even to each other, and they're all being used. That's kind of hilarious. This one is probably not going to have very much in the way of incoming cargo, but this actually does most of our incoming cargo. But all of them have outgoing cargo. And when our industries start, when we start building this area up, for example, a little bit more, then this one's going to also be more strongly used, more to the extent of this one. And this one, I get a feeling, is probably going to get used a lot stronger than we expect, a lot sooner than we expect. Because we're not really done over here. In fact, we're not anywhere close to done. Especially considering we have more industry demand, so yeah, why not satisfy it? And how do we do that? With more industry. Not entirely sure why they're coming in back here, but whatever flips their skirt. Oh, they're probably coming in here to turn around. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. They're coming in here to turn around. So we're going to want to set turning lanes on this real soon, like right now. And of course it put a traffic light in there, because everybody hates traffic lights. Hey, Gamer Geo, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. I'm doing fine for the most part. Life, yeah, it's been treating me decently well. Not super well, but well enough. And yeah, like a week or two ago, I figured, yeah, it's time to get back to streaming now that I have a reasonable computer again. And so I figured, let's do 1 hour a day city skylines. Although it's actually sometimes a little bit more than 1 hour a day here on Twitch. 1 hour a day, that's what the people on YouTube get, so to speak. In fact, you know what, we'll extend that out a little bit and just put another little finger on here. Oh, you know what, exactly, we'll have that be a way to crawl back. And how you been doing? I hope also equally well. Of course, we're getting a lot of not enough customers and things like that. That is to be expected because, again, we do have significant overproduction as far as oil goes. That's not anything we're concerned about. And actually, that should now be less of an issue because we can now more easily directly export oil. Oh my god, an 88% load out? Wow. Yeah, I still have to work full time because, yeah, we're basically an essential service. I mean, I do taxi dispatch, and when nothing else runs, yeah, people need taxis. So, yeah, work is basically treating me fine. Everything else is treating me fine. I don't really have anything to complain about much. Just wish I had a little bit more time to play video games, that's all. So, gonna have to go with a three-way asymmetrical road here to ungum that. Can I? Oh, that sucks because that's right there. Oh, we already have one. No, we even have a 4-lane there. So the problem is actually them cutting across because I can't put a 3-lane asymmetrical there. There is a mod there. Maybe I even have that. It's the intersection marking tool node controller. That's all not going to do us any good. There is a mod that you can actually change these roads, but I don't think I have it installed. Surface, color. I'm not even sure what this mod is. Oh, I think that's a way to like change the way certain aspects of a road look. Yeah, exactly. You can change like the street lamps and you can, but that still unfortunately doesn't do us any good for switching this out. And moving it over isn't really an option either, so that's either something we're going to have to live with, or the intersection has to be up here. I'm going to say we're going to go for suggestion number 2. Put the intersection above. That's a little bit wonky. It looks more appropriate. Of course, we have to flip both of them around. No, not the movement mod. Just the normal road tool, please. That's what anarchy's for, my friend. So now that should, at least theoretically, solve that. Unless, of course, they all want to go the same way, in which case we're still screwed. Yeah, that looks much more reasonable. They can just flow out much better as soon as the intersection does clear up. That works much better, yeah. So, another problem solved. Yoo-hoo! And there goes the chat. That's another problem that we have. So, I have quite a few mods running in this city. Pretty large list, to be honest. And again, half of them I don't even, to be honest, don't really necessarily know exactly what they are and what they're doing. I could probably drop like half of them, because I downloaded them at some point in time when I knew what they did and just haven't ever used them yet, and have therefore since kind of forgotten what they were, what I even have them there for. Exactly, we can turn off anarchy. So now, what are our traffic numbers? We're back up to 77%. This is still a clusterfuck. But I think I know how to solve it. What we're going to do, we're still going to come off here. We're not going to change where we come off, but we're going to change how we come off. And turn that into a bridge. Why are we going to turn that into a bridge? So that we can come back on over here. This is going to be a little bit tricky. I may have to tell some tools and mods to go F themselves. The idea being, what we're going to do, we're going to run this just really, really close to the edge of that one. That still works, yeah. Now we can run that straight, and simultaneously, you see, the idea is we'll jump off here where the other one originally left. That would actually be that point. And as you can see, it's actually going to let us do that. We could even jump off much more aggressively. Oh, that's because anarchy is still on. That's why it's letting us do that. Okay. I was about to say that's not really supposed to be that easy. Yeah, actively use, I'd say with me, is also probably between 5 and 10 mods. That would probably be a much more reasonable number for me to download, but Hey, I mean, what's the purpose of having a nice new computer if you can't install 10 million mods you'll never use? So, and now I think the plan is a little bit more clear. They come off before they go on. And that should solve all of this cross traffic and give us much, much better flow back in there. No, we don't want to go quite that hard. Well, we might want to actually go... Yeah, we do want to go that hard. That's actually not so bad. Because that traffic is already off the highway, so it shouldn't really matter. What we can do now, though, we need to plop this back down, get rid of anarchy, plop that back down to... No, that needs to be 4. That always needs to be 4 because that's going on to the onto the turbine. So that needs to be 4, just that one section. Already is, I think. Yeah. And then back here, we can go back to 3 again. And yeah, now we need to throw this up to 4 again, though, so that they can get off. But at least in pure theory, ooh, that looks disgusting. That is not enough of a good thing. Turn off anarchy. You know what, we'll anarchy it in right there. That actually looks reasonable. Obviously that doesn't. Can trucks still get under that? Maybe not. Don't want to necessarily go down that far, but just far enough so that a truck doesn't scrape its head on that. Actually, we can probably just raise this section. No, we can't, so we'd have to raise that node as well. We can do that. And we'll raise this node again a little bit more. Don't have a choice. But then we'll pull this one up a little bit. I'll make it look a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, that should work. The operative word being should. Problem is that this traffic is now probably not getting on the highway soon enough. That said, we don't have lane management in there, so that's something we should do, maybe. And thank you for the follow, Joshua Bastone. Welcome to the channel. Oh, that's what... Deserve, you dumbass. I'm wondering, why are they not using that at all? Because they can't. Let's try it that way and see what happens. What's... Oh my god, and as a result of that, everybody here is probably trying to... Yeah, exactly. What one little mistake can cause, it's just hilarious sometimes. Oh, that looks worky. Let's change that. Yeah, that should give this a bit more of a curve, and then it'll look fine. It'll look like somebody did that on purpose. Okay, they seem to be able to exfiltrate fine now. They should also be able to infiltrate fine once they finally realize they can actually come back in this way again. probably still going to get some lane switching problems over here. I think we need to connect that side up here more directly. I think making them turn around, at least in this proximity, is just not a good idea. But that also should not be a problem. We can basically just create a quick underpass here and be done with it. And just stick them straight on this road. Just connect them up like right here. Turn this into a 2-lane for 2 seconds. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. I mean, the Umbrella Corporation does have space out here, if nothing else. So it's not like they're hurting. They shouldn't miss anything. And I'm going to have to go a little bit further before I can come up. Let's just keep that as short as possible. And I'm going to have to anarchy that in. There's not going to be any way around that. And we're going to have to turn off snapping as well, otherwise we're never going to get that where we want it to be. Oh, I'm totally not happy with this. So that this looks right, we're actually going to have to play this a little bit differently. And that means we're going to have to pause the game for a second. This needs to go. Oh, this is going to be so janky. And again, janky is not necessarily bad. It's just very rarely good. Oh yeah, now we can fly off from here and just put the pillar right... Aw, that actually... That almost looks like someone did it on purpose. Let's move this node up here a little bit. Straighten that out just a hair. Oh yeah. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. We'll just move this over a bit. Just enough. I mean, it's only just for merging, so. This is really a bit short, but I think we're gonna make this work just fine. This is going to work just fine. No, 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 not anarchy. Not for that, at least. Now we want anarchy. Stop snapping. Ugh. Let's pull that up a little bit. That'll give us some clearance there. Pull this down a little bit. Now that we have that clearance, we may want to pull that node down just a hair as well. And maybe even that one as well. Oh, yeah. Oh! What a warm, inviting place to work. After you knew sideway, what is it? Why does it go 4-3? 4-3 and then 4 is because you want a lane for people to be able to merge in. And then you want them to merge. But actually, we probably could just put a 4 lane in there. You're absolutely right. There it really does, because there's only one node in between, so they're merging just so that they can unmerge again. It's kind of pointless. Thank you for pointing that out. So where were we? 4 going off. That's 2. Back into... This was 4. Okay. So, yeah, we need a 4-lane over here quick. So they get their turning lane. We could also just downgrade this to 2, but, I mean, traffic is heavy enough that we can absolutely warrant 3 lanes. And here, we actually need 3 lanes because we have 3 1-lane connections that are actually pumping traffic out in that direction. So let's see. Oops. That's not the way that's supposed to look. Neither is that, but it looks much better. Let's see if we can't pull that up to there. No, that still looks wrong. There. That looks right. Well, it's a little bit wank. But ha 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 ha! It's working. Might be working too well. we may have just screwed ourselves by just completely. Well, then again, it's an industry area. It's going to be flooded with traffic. Now we're going to get the next problem is going to be people that want to turn off. They're not going to be able to get in, are they? Ah, yeah, they are. But we want to pull this node over a little bit more because that looks a bit wonky. It doesn't really look much better that way either. But I've built for about 18 hours exactly. Or we're working on the 18th hour. That said, we're probably actually at more like 20 hours because I generally overrun by between 5 and 20 minutes. But we have gotten to the megalopolis size, and I mean, we do have the entire map, so we can do whatever we want. And whatever we want did also already include putting in just a massive hydroelectric power plant, just so we have it. And we did, of course, run power lines for that because, yeah, I mean, obviously a power plant back there, power lines make sense in that sense. For everything else, I'm using electric roads. And actually, the original plan was to was never really to stay in this square, but I'm actually kind of liking it, and that's why I'm kind of trying to work with it instead of just tearing it out. Even though there's still a big part of me that just wants to tear it out and start basically start up building communities back here, and then actually build from the back towards the front. But yeah, like I said, I am kind of liking the layout that this originally drawn-in highway is giving us. Some of it was forced by, like for example, this and this. If you watch the first few episodes, you'll see that this connection, this area, oh, that's just a totally screwed up idea. And there are a few other weird things like that on this map. Like for example, this goes from 3 lanes into 2 1-lanes, both directions. Then you have 3 lanes crossing in either direction. And here it all merges into 2 1-lanes. So, yeah, not really sure what the map creator had planned there. But, as you can see, it is an outside connection. So we can actually use that for something. And we will eventually use that for something. I mean, if you may have noticed... Oh, no, you can't notice in this perspective. We do have some districts drawn out back here already, just for like, may end up with like a forestry settlement back here, thinking maybe ore back here, and farming maybe back here, and that leaves us with this huge amount of space here in the middle to just build this absolute mega city on. And that's why I'm also just totally avoiding like super high-rise skyscrapers and things in there, if at all possible. But yeah, basically, except for the Umbrella Corporation And yeah, our port and oil industry area over here, none of this here is actually set in stone. At least not from my perspective. There are some things that I like that I'd like to keep, but yeah, that doesn't mean this is not going to happen. No, obviously I don't plan on nuking the city, so that doesn't need to happen. We don't need to do any orbital bombardment. I don't think we're going to get that far. Well, yeah, at the very end, I'll definitely start throwing a few meteors on it. Yeah, and we have exactly 97,000. Probably could have been more if we were actually concentrating on population growth specifically and not, yeah, the last 2 or 3 episodes, I've basically been mostly fixing traffic. Just kind of preparing for when the next industries come in, because I mean, okay, now we're at 79%. That's reasonable. That's something we can work with. But when the next industries start coming in, things are going to start getting a lot worse, a lot faster. So, although we still do also have room over here to, well, we don't really have room over here anymore. We just kind of changed that, didn't we? I was about to say, yeah, we do still have some room over here for like unique factories and things like that, and it's like, oh really? Where? But yeah, I think this cargo, now this seems to be working just fine. And maybe that extra garbage incinerator is actually gonna finally help us not have like them have garbage piling up in our oil industry main building like every second week. Oh yeah, the traffic back in here is really, that all worked out more or less swimmingly. This connection, this road is a bit of a problem. We may force them to turn off to the left and force them to go straight, because I think we have that over in all of these other sections, right? They can't get turned. No, they can turn off. We actually allowed that. Okay. That's actually a good... Whoa, but that's not a good sign. Do we have... No, we took out the traffic light. That's right. Do we have any more that got plopped in? Not really. But yeah, overall it's still running fine. We can still probably streamline it a little bit, but the most important thing was actually these 3 outside connections that just allowed trucks and everything to just go straight onto the highway to wherever the hell they want to go. Yeah, but it also depends on how much beautification you're doing. I mean, if you're sitting there and you're making really every single area look really nice. Okay, those buildings are a bit high. Those can probably get knocked out, but okay, we won't worry about that. Like for example here, like this massive botanical garden that we built, or like some of these large parks that we have in there. When you spend a lot of effort putting in things like that, then it just gets time consuming, because it's just so much detail work. And that's actually part of the... Where's my fish market? So that was that big plop that we heard earlier. Where the hell is my fish market? You bastards. Somebody wants to get popped. That's what I think. Somebody wants to get popped. Oh, man. Oh, oh, and after we did all of... We put all those... You know what that is? That's a result of the flooding that we had. That's what happened. As a result of the flooding, it knocked out the fish market. And so now what we need to do... Oh, this is going to be hilariously stupid what we have to do right now. Because we have to put a small road on this. Perfectly off to the side. In a 90-degree angle. Just so that we can delete it. Oh no, and it's going to knock out our fence and everything. Oh man. Well, the fences wasn't that bad, but still kind of pisses me off a little bit. You know what? We'll just actually leave that in there, maybe. I don't know. But at least now we can put our fish market back in. Damn, what was... Seriously, that's screwed up, man. You can't take a man's fish market away. You can't just do that. That's probably going to knock out that road completely. No, it's actually going to leave us with that road that we put in. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Why are these in there on top of our props? And why is it high density? That's even more surprising. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye. We actually need access to this stuff back here. These are cleaning utilities, fish. This road doesn't actually get used though. We really just drew that in as a prop, and that's actually why I even got to thinking about this, was the whole beautification thing. So that's actually really, really nice that we happened upon that topic right there. Because, yeah, this is what we did with the fish market. We put a fence around it, and well, the fence only now goes up to there, but that's okay. And, yeah, we put, like, loading docks in the back. I was actually hoping to find some truck props, but, yeah, I just kept forgetting to download them, so that's something we'll just save for the end. But we did, like, put these back in here, and some more containers. These were already part of the fish market. Yeah, now everything's going bling, 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 and everything's upgrading again because now the fish market's back, and that also explains why why we had low land value before. Oh boy, that's the hilarious thing about City Skylines. Sometimes you make one small mistake and everything goes to hell, and you're sitting there like, that wasn't really such a big change. Yeah, your Sims with a C apparently had a different opinion of that change. So, but this seems to be working well now. Let's see how our traffic is. We're still at 79%. Okay, that turbine has cleared up a little bit. Yeah, it's really still just the whole industrial commercial exchange thing. It's really still causing massive issues. Oh, this has improved surprisingly. That was much, much worse before. And so is this. So, oh yeah, we're actually getting somewhere finally. I think we can now finally, slowly but surely, because this is bad, but it's not horrible. I mean, it's not causing like any major stoppages or anything. They're not tailing back for like 3 blocks. Yeah, so I think... yeah, exactly. This one's still a problem, though. We still have to worry about the way into the city. And that's actually... You know what we're going to do? We're going to turn this little section here, specifically, and only this little section, into a one-way road. Because anyone who wants to come back up here, they'll just come through here. But everybody else will just keep going through here, but we won't have the issue of lane crossing and things like that. I think that might be the solution to our problems. Let's find out. I build parks with DLC, with props, and with pre-built parks. So basically, in any sort. Do we have... Trying to think, do we have an actual hand-built... Yeah, Holly City Park, for example. This is built mostly with the DLC. Although it's mostly actually just walking paths and just these beech trees, which I still think are almost a little bit overbearing. Just kind of like we turned basically this entire area into a park and just had to have the cemetery in the middle and a little bit of, I think that's commercial. No, it's the elder care and the child care, exactly. So there's a hand-built park in this residential area, and the rest, like things like this, or again our botanical gardens, they're basically combinations of prop placement, parks that actually already exist in the game, like the botanical garden itself, or these small parks, and then just adding your own paths and throwing in your own props. These planters, I don't think were originally there, for example. And to do that, I actually have the more beautification mod installed. That's actually quite important for that. No, 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 no. Get out of the natural disasters real fast. Because that actually gives you all sorts of options that you don't normally have. One of the most important ones being all of these lights. These are actually really interesting at night, because what you can do, if you look, yeah, it's night right now. In fact, let's go to like a really, really deep at night and find something dark. That's dark enough. And what you can actually do, for example, with some of these lights, obviously you can't place them with a large brush, nor would you want to. Shift U. Obviously you want a brush strength of 1. And you can actually add, like, for example, floodlights. And things like that are interesting. Does that castle still exist out here? Yeah. So, like, for example, if we wanted to light up this castle, we could do that, like, in red or in green. I don't remember if you were... I think you were here when I was building New Fishburg. That's one of the reasons that that castle up in the hills, or the whole medieval area as a whole, just actually really looked so cool, was just floodlights, just extra floodlights placed around. And yeah, we also, with the no beautification, we have access to things like shipping containers, or some trees and planters and wall textures that you just don't normally have access to. Yeah, building a proper park can take a while, especially if you really want it to be something nice and not just a cheaty, let's earn a lot of money walking path. Which I also have a few of. I originally didn't want to use them, but, oh god, I mean, which one was it specifically? Exactly, this one. Come on. How can... That's just so many people. It hurts to not charge them to walk through there. I'm sorry, but... I actually seem to wind up getting back to that on just about every episode for some reason or another. But I think it's nice that we're hearing upgrade pings again. That's good. Red Light District really still isn't doing very much, but it was never expected to. This commercial area, what's their main gripe? Not enough customers, so that means we need to start with residential again, which is okay because we actually have space for that. The question is, do we have time for that? We're actually 2 minutes from the end. So, yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to toss in some roads. Just start preparing it. But we're not actually going to start building it. Not today. Just doing our general preparation for, well, yeah, tomorrow, obviously, then. Because unfortunately, I do still have a job that I have to do tomorrow night or evening or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, exactly. We do want these to come only off of these collector roads. And we want to add walking paths this time straight off the bat instead of forgetting them like we do every single effing time. We want to turn off node snapping for that, though. Because I always forget to add in walking paths in residential or combined residential commercial areas, which is actually what this is going to be. This is going to be both residential and organic and local produce is going to be in here as well, because we do also have some commercial demand. And as you can see, a lot of this is all already set up as organic and local produce around Central Park, simply because Central Park is actually pretty loud. And that gives us a bit of a noise buffer. And I think that should actually Let's take a quick look. Be enough to actually put residential in here. Yeah, we could even go with residential in here already if we wanted, so. It's really, really nice to have that organic and local produce in there. And that's probably also going to give us some demand for our locally produced industrial goods. At least that's kind of the idea. Whether or not it actually works, we'll see. And you know what? For this one, we'll actually go and turn these into sub-local roads, so to speak. You know what? We'll go here and here, and we'll just connect them through here. Because back here, that's not a problem at all. In fact, that would make this a reasonably nice spot to put like something like clinics or something like that, because it has this slightly symmetrical look to it. But again, in fact, we can also let everything run while we're at it. Let the city grow a little bit more without us doing anything. Makes it much easier to grow it when we're doing something. So, and now that one in there. That one in there. Sometimes I wish city services would use these paths. It would be like hilarious if you'd see like firemen just running down one of these paths to extinguish a fire instead of using a, well, fire engine. Those are close enough. They can walk around that corner. That definitely doesn't need a connection. That node could be moved up just a hair. Those all connected well. Yeah, those are all where they need to be. So, but again, we won't actually zone this and let it run today, because we are now, yeah, already 2 minutes over. So, once again, you guys have been great. I've been Zerb. If you've liked what you've seen, feel free to follow me on Twitch or like and subscribe on YouTube. I do at least one of these a day on Twitch. Well, sometimes I do more than one a day on Twitch. Sometimes I do take a day or two break. But on YouTube, yeah, they come up once every 24 hours. So, again, see all you guys next time. You've been great, and cheers.